Hello everyone, welcome to the task 28 video submission. In this video we will be programming the cart page and including the product addition and review process. So let's get into it. First let's recap what we've done so far. We have created a sign in, sign up, a user profile, user edit profile, product registration, a buyer and seller dashboards. We created a search and advanced search. We also created a wish list or a watch list. Then now we have created our cart for the buyer. So let's move into the code. We'll first look at how it works and then move into the code. So this is the cart. As you can see in the previous video, we showed this is part of the buyer dashboard and works as a tab. So if we go here, we'll actually first sign out and sign in as a seller to see whether we can try to access the buyer dashboard. We shouldn't be able to, but we can. We'll actually first go to the seller dashboard. Let's go to seller dashboard and just turn this to buyer. You cannot get into the buyer dashboard, cannot modify header. So we have to sign out. We'll actually try to go in from here, see whether we can go in without logging in. Buyer dashboard.php. No, it gets redirected to home, so we must sign in. So let's go sign in. Yes, and as you can see here, we do have a buyer dashboard. We have a dashboard for that. Then go to dashboard. Yes, we go to our dashboard, and then we have our cart. As you can see, we have some elements in here. You can see that we have the icon here that is showing the count of how many things in here. We can remove one, get a notification, and as you can see, the cart has changed. But also one thing we need to show is from the products. Let's go to let's check this. Let's go into this. As you can see, this is where we actually start. This is where the whole process starts. We cannot add this from anywhere else, so we have to add to cart from here. There's no other place to do it, so let's go back to our search. Let's go to another one, add this to our cart as well, go back, and if we check this, it says in cart already, in cart. And unlike the watch list where we can actually put it from here, go here and see it's in the watch list, the cart, we cannot see that from anywhere else but the cart itself. So we will remove these other two, and so we also have our the delivery fee calculated, and we have a small pop-up that says ₹200 within the same city and ₹500 across cities, changed per seller. So the issue you see here, we have two different products, but they're all by the same seller, test2 first name. So user test2 is the one who has all of the items. We also can see this in our database. We have the user ID, the product ID. But as you can see, product ID 8 and 7. So let's go to products, and if we look at our data, let's make this bigger. If you make this bigger, you can see product ID 8 and 7. All these are made by the same user number 8. So because of that, the pricing does not change. It's the same price for all because it's the same seller. If it was multiple sellers, it will get changed. But for the same product, because it's in the same thing, buying it at the same time, it will be sent with the same price. Because imagine if we are purchasing something from Daraz and we purchase from Simply Tech, which is in Colombo. We are purchasing headphones, a phone, charger, and a power bank, right? Now we are purchasing about 4 products. Now you shouldn't be paying 4 different delivery fee for the same product, right? You need to have the same delivery fee. So that same thing is used in here. Just if the seller is different, say we are buying a phone from Simply Tech, then we are buying headphones from Abans, then a power bank from Barclays, and a charger from Gamer.lk or something like that. Then all 4 of those will have different delivery fees. But when it's from the same one, it has to be the same. So that logic is used in here. and again we have it as a tab. So let's get into the code. So first of all we have to go to we first of all have to go to the header, because in the header is where we make sure that first a session is running, and that we get the card count from here. First we make sure user is logged in and the user role is buyer. Then we check the database, search, select count as C from cart, and user ID is as such. So we get the count. So we will check cart. We have already checked it before, I think. Yeah. So we go user ID 9 and 10. So 8 and 7. So as you can see, this user ID keeps changing because it's auto increment. That's not relevant. It's these two columns that are relevant. So as you can see, same user ID has 2. So we get a count of 2, and on our website we'll show a count of 2. So that's all for the most part of the header. The header also has the part where we show the messages for the buyer, as well as cart and watch list again for the buyer. Yeah, so once we click that, as you can see, once we click that, we move into the buyer section. So let's move into the buyer dashboard. So let's first move into our code. Yeah. So first of all, we have include header. That's why we looked at the header earlier, because the header is where the code actually starts. As you can see, header, in the header, we start the code right here, and we end with the footer. So yeah, we start with the header. Then we have string to lower, user role buyer. So we first make sure that user is logged in as a buyer. If not, it redirects to the home page. Then we have we get the tab selection. So first, by default, when you click dashboard, you come to the dashboard tab. So that's what happens here. That's the default. Then we load in our cart data. So the variables, cart items, subtotal, delivery fee. We get those. We first initialize them, and then we have a section where we calculate we actually do a buyer city lookup. Actually, this should be the comment on top. We get the buyer's city. So that happens right here. Let's make this change. Comment. So yeah. So we select city ID from user profile, and then we join it together with the user ID. So we know that the buyer's location is as such, and we get that, and we name it as city ID. Then we go to fetch the cart items. Then from here we actually get the cart item ID, the first name of the seller, and assign it to seller first name, and get the last name as seller last name. And we also get the seller's city ID. I get it as seller city ID. Seller, yeah. And then we join it all together. In this way, we can actually get more information of the seller, so we can compare the buyer city and the seller city and make sure difference, and that calculation happens right here. So first we get the items, we calculate the total of the items, we get the price of them, and we get the total. Gets the float value if there's in cents as well, and then we calculate. First we get the seller's ID, and we make sure that the seller's city ID is the same as the buyer city ID. If so, we add a 200. If it's not the same city, we add 500. So this is just a rudimentary thing, assuming that they're only we are in Sri Lanka, so all cities are quite close by. Whereas in a real scenario, we need to add for each country a value. Then for if the cities are more than 20 kilometers to 50 kilometers to then 100 kilometers to then 200, then 300 kilometers, 400, 500, like that, until we leave the country. We have to calculate as well for cities, and then if it's overseas with other shipping charges, we need to add. But those are not done here. We just assume two conditions. So 200, if we take this for normal deliveries like Uber Eats or Daraz is almost identified for 129 rupees, but then if it's more than that, they actually make it to 250, and so on. So 200 we are assuming is within a given range, maybe 50 kilometers. Then 500 is over that range, and yeah, so that is to get our delivery fee and the total. So the total is subtotal plus delivery fees. As you can see, this is where it's calculated. And yes, then let's move into our navigation as such. So over here we said we fetch the cart items, then we get into the tab navigation. So by default we saw earlier that the main tab will always be the dashboard. So if we go to dashboard, the tab we get is the dashboard. We'll actually check that. So if we go to dashboard, it shows the dashboard, and for cart we get the cart, but the cart parameter just uses this URL. Yeah, so that's it for that. Then let's look at the dashboard tab. There's nothing much, just a small section that is HTML and Tailwind CSS with an H2 tag and a paragraph tag. Then we come to the cart, similar top hero section more rather. Then we have if the cart is empty. So if there are no items in the cart, your cart is empty. So we will look at that first of all. So your cart is empty. That's what it shows there. So, but if there are cart items, so if there are items, then we go ahead with this code. We spoke in the early one that it's flex, so it's nice and long. So if you go back and as popularity, let's go add this into our cart. We add this as well, and go back to our cart. You can see it's no longer blocked, it's much longer. That's due to flex. And we also have the sidebar for order summary. So then we also do have this SVG. We spoke of this in the previous video. It's highlighted. There's nothing much here. It's just the calculations and all are done above here, and then we go down. We have some elements. So this is just to get the notification pop up that when we remove something. So let's remove this. Okay. So this comes over here. So that happens over there. This is for the notification as well. Remove from cart. So it gives us a pop-up as well. And if that is successful, only we go ahead. Then we have for cart removal. As you can see, let's go back and add that element. Let's add this to the cart. Go back, and as you can see, when we do this, it dims. So if you cancel, it goes back. Whereas if you press OK, it gets removed and you get the notification. So that's what happens over there. Let's add this back. That's what happens over there. Then we prepare the data and we send the post to remove from cart. Cart items removed successfully. But this is only for removal, whereas when we add something, it's not happening here. So we will go to where we add the code, which we showed earlier, where we have to add it is in product view.php. So let's go to product view.php. So first of all, we need to make sure that that we are logged in as a buyer, because if not, we cannot be logging in. We cannot be using this page. So as you can see, logged in. So let's go down all the way to our. So over here in our product view.php, we first start off with these queries. So first, make sure in cart is false. If not, we have to do a check. So we check the database, search select ID from cart, the product ID is such, and user ID is as such. If so, if this is correct, then you use the variable in cart, and if we go into here in cart, so if there is data in, we will say it is in cart. If not, we are able to add to cart. Yeah, so based on that, we move on. Then we come to this section here, get an event by ID card button. So we are waiting for an event listener click. So if this is clicked, then we go ahead and similar to the previous one, we actually prepare the form data and send a post. So we send a post to cardprocess.php. J action is added, so we add using this. Yeah, so this is the simple part of adding the product into the code. Sorry, adding our product to our cart, which in turn should update our cart database table. So we'll look at the cart process.php. So first of all, we have to have started a session if not already started. Then we include the database connection and set response time to JSON for AJAX calls. Then we have an authentication check. This we have in all of our processes. Then the input validation. We'll make sure it's the input is valid. Int-valid is used for that. Then we validate the IDs of the user ID and the product ID. We make sure it is not 0. If not, input is valid. Invalid input is what we give. Then we check if the product is already in the cart. If not, we cannot add it. As you can remember earlier, we were in the product view, we have to check that as well. So when we were here in cart, yes, we made sure that it was already in or not already in the database. Then we have to toggle our simple logic of if it exists. If the product already exists in the cart, we remove it. This is not very important, but this is the main important part. If product not in the cart, we add it. So we use an insert into cart, user ID, product ID, values, such and such, and with success, it has been added. So we'll actually go and add another product. So we'll go back to this. Let's go add this development. So this is not in the database. First, we'll actually check it at the same time with we'll check the network elements as well. Let's go to network. We'll go here and add to cart. As you can see, post 200 cart process.php. So our cart process is going through. It first checks the session, makes sure the database connection is there, does all the checks, input validation. This part is not necessary. This is also unnecessary, but then we add into our database. So as you can see, if we refresh this, yes, it has been added to the database. So time is down for 2. So we're looking at this entry was made thanks to this click. And if you go here, we can see the number 4, and we have added this. This was added previously, but we are looking at this right now. Yeah, so that is it. So if we can actually remove this as well. So remover will also give us another post. So let's look at that because we looked at that earlier. So let's now go to the remove process. So this process is much more longer because unlike the addition, if you can see here, we have many other parts. We have to actually recalculate what we have done here. Let's go to the buyer dashboard. So in the buyer dashboard, as you can see at the top, we have fetching the cart items as well as calculating the cart items. So now that happened. This is what takes place when we add, because we have just added and we have come to this process. As you can see here, we have come to this process. It all gets added. But then once we remove from the cart, we have to redo that process. So that process happens right here. So this is the main one, delete the cart item. So delete from cart where ID is such and such. And then we have to go to delete once the delete result is a success, we have to get the buyer's city ID and recalculate, because sometimes it could be from different cities as such, um, from different sellers. So we have to get the remaining cart items, display those, then initialize the totals of those, then loop through the remaining items, then we calculate the delivery fee, the same thing that we did here. We do a lookup, we fetch the items. So as you can see, all these three things are the same as what we had earlier, but they have to be redone. And then we return the JSON encodes of the updated totals. So we get the new subtotal, total delivery fee, subtotal, the total, that is subtotal plus total delivery fee, and as well as the item count. So we'll actually remove an item and check that. And as you remember, that is also a post. We'll go back to the buyer dashboard. This is the post for the remove item. So as you can see here, quite similar to the product view where we have the post for addition right here. So this is cart and item to cart. Same to that. We have it here in the buyer dashboard, that is remove item from cart. So that is the same thing we have here, a post for remove okay, I will spell that, remove from cart, but yeah, let's actually look at that. So if we click this, we should get a post. Okay, as you can see, we got a post for remove from cart. Earlier we had addition to the cart, but now we have remove from cart. So we'll go to the database. What we added should now get deleted. Yes, and as you can see, the new totals are all calculated at the same time. Delivery fee does not change, as I told you before. This is from the same seller. So that should conclude all that we have done for this section. We have some a few catch. Sorry, if that does not happen, it says fail to remove item. Whereas in our buyer dashboard, we click this, they are necessary. Dashboard, we have a catch and an error to catch the errors that happen from our try catch. So yeah, that's it for the addition and removal of our cart items. So we have added and removed both. So I will see you in the next video. That will be more to do with the delivery fee calculation. So we will check that in the next one. Thank you.